Ron Harris here, MD Online Editor, and the finals for day one of the Masters Olympia over in Cluj, Romania, just wrapped up. They finished with the 212 division. They always save the division that's the most popular for that day for last. If they did 5 divisions today, they're going to do 5 more tomorrow. But let's kick it off with the 212 results. Hidetada Yamagishi comes back after, I think he was gone for about 6 years competing. Great look for Hide today. Great conditioning. He beat out David Henry, who was the first 202 Olympia Showdown winner. It wasn't called Olympia back then, and it wasn't 212. It was 202. That was back in 2008. David Henry looked phenomenal. I would have liked to see a little better condition with the legs from David. Neither one of them has the greatest legs in general. I'm being nitpicky because that's what we do. But David, big fan of David, man. Tremendous back development, chest, some of the best arms around, especially his triceps, so round and full and thick. David was in really good condition. Hide edged him out a little bit on condition. I didn't watch the judging, which was at 4 a.m. my time. But apparently, Hide sharpened up and David didn't. It was one of those things where it was probably super close until the confirmation round, and then they had to make a decision. So your top 5 was Hide Yamagishi, David Henry, Anwar Darwish, Ali Al-Balushi from Oman, looked really good. Steve Thayer. Steve is from Washington State here in the U.S. And Canada's Johnny Shreve in 5th. Johnny, I'm a big fan of his YouTube channel. It looks to me like Johnny went natural for this. Conditioning wasn't great. It wasn't. He's got beautiful shape and structure. Smaller than I remember him, but just goes to show you it's not always about, because he beat out some guys. Some of these guys were thick. This Masum Butt from UK, 53 years old. Props to him for that. That guy was jacked. Another 53-year-old I want to mention, Ji-Chen Kwan, looked good, looked really good. Milton Martinez was another guy, big, thick upper body. Going into Classic, I know I only made a thumbnail for one, but Classic Physique, props to Alex Cambronero, who's 41 years old. You only had to be 40 for this. Alex Cambronero is your Classic Physique Masters Mr. Olympia, or I guess you can't say Mr. unless it's the open class. Classic Physique Masters Olympia champion. 2nd place, Kelvin Hind from the UK. 3rd place, Ross Caesar from Bermuda. Never heard of him until today. 4th place, Luis Garcia Martinez from Spain. 5th place, Tom Connolly, Dr. Tom Connolly. He's a dentist to Post Malone, DaBaby, a lot of celebrities out in the LA area. He's the one that puts those $1 million diamond teeth in these people's mouths. Tom was on the cover of MD about a year and a half ago. So cool to see him in the show. He looked really good. He doesn't have the prettiest classic shape like some of these guys. That's just genetic. But he had a lot of muscle. Hard to believe he even made the weight. And he was in really good condition. Strange, he had plenty of hair. He has a good head of hair, but he has shaved it, and he has his whole head tattooed now. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a gangster thug look, but this guy's obviously a multimillionaire celebrity dentist out in Beverly Hills. So he also has an office in New York. So that was Classic. Real quickly, Women's Physique was won by Ivy Rain from Brazil. Ivy looked really good. She had just won the Texas Pro last weekend. She'll be top 5 in the Olympia. I don't think she's threatening Sarah Villegas or Natalia Coelho for the win, but Ivy looked phenomenal, especially her back. She beat these women from the back for sure. Carolyn Alvis, 2nd place. Heather Grace, 3rd. 4th, Joanna Romano. 5th, I couldn't hear. On the subject of hearing, there is a crazy echo that started about an hour and a half ago with the play-by-play duo, Isabel Turrell and Bob Ciccarillo. It's like a reverb. You're hearing everything they saying, echoing it. It's kind of distracting. Even the MC. So there's some sound issues that I hope they fix for tomorrow. Remember, this is a 2-day show, guys. Women's bodybuilding was won by Roshana Boswell. Pushed very hard, and I thought the win could have gone to 2nd place. Barbara Moojen, Moojen from Brazil, who I've never seen before today or heard about. 3rd place, Virginia B. Sanchez. Macias, 4th place, Donna Salib. I know Donna pretty well from Kentucky. 5th place, Sylvia Mata. Wellness was won by Nerilde Garcia Stray. Samara Walter, 2nd. 3rd, Oana Marinescu from right there in Romania. 4th, I couldn't hear. Too noisy. I apologize for that. 5th was Casey DeLong from the U.S. So, I don't know how many of you guys watched it. This was actually One of the more economical pay-per-views, and they did a great job with it. It's $39.99 US dollars for both days for judging and finals. That's cheaper than I think. That's less than I paid for 2-day shows this year for anything. So, good job, Jake and company, Wings of Strength, whoever arranged the pay-per-view. So, what do we got in the live chat, guy? Good morning, Ron and everyone. What's up, TMD? Brush cutting and firewood. Nigel Christian Lomax, the judges got this wrong. Anwar should have taken the win. Yeah, Anwar looked really good. David Henry's second was a gift. His hamstrings are non-existent. Yeah, David doesn't have the best hamstrings. His quads aren't the best. They never were. Crazy upper body. I wouldn't have had a fit if Anwar had won. So we're talking about that was third place Anwar Darwish Ali Al-Balushi from Oman. Yeah, he looked really good. Nigel Christian Lomax Masson looked better. I think David may be live. David did not have gut and smooth as a baby hamstrings. Ooh, rough. You're being rough, Nigel. Yeah, David's condition. I've seen him in much better condition than that, especially in the past. He was known for his conditioning. He was, he won it wasn't the Olympia. He didn't get to be called Mr. Olympia, 212 Olympia or anything like that. When he was winning, it was still called the 202 Showdown. He actually was winning back in the days when it was 202. I believe he won the first couple times, then Kevin English won a bunch of times. And once it went to 212, that's when like the dynasty of Flex Lewis began. He won that 7 years in a row. Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that, Nigel. This guy looked really good. I wasn't familiar with him. I'm just going to call him Anwar Darwish instead of the full name Ali Al-Balushi. Some of these people have very long names. A guy from Brazil I've met before, Fernando Noronha de Albida Maradona. That's all one name. Yeah. Are still the triceps on Dave Henry look to have faded, in my opinion? Maybe so. They're still freaking great. They're still great. His chest is still great. He's still got a crazy back. That's where, if you had to pick apart him and Hide, he actually has a much better back than Hide. So when they say shows are won from the back, it's not really the case. If it comes down to everything else is equal and one guy has a better back, the guy with the better back will win. But rare occasions have I ever seen it be that close where it was the back that made the decision for the judge. Anis Hosseini, this is proof that shows are not won from the back. Yeah, thank you. The winner of the weakest back in the lineup. Yeah, Hide Yamagishi has never had much back thickness. It's been the most glaring weak point on his physique from day one. And I'm a big Hide fan. I thought he looked phenomenal when he won. He won the Arnold Classic 212 years back. I think they only had it for like 5 years, and he was one of the winners. He wasn't the first. I believe Flex Lewis came and won it the first year. I want to say Hide won it. Jose won it. Kamal won it. And I think guy from Kuwait, Ahmad Ashkenani, I think he won it. Yeah, he won it 1 year too. So those were the 5 champions of the 212 Arnold Classic before they did away with the 212 division. Zuhir Ghazale, what's your prediction for the Open? So Open is tomorrow, guys. It should wrap up around this same time tomorrow because they have the same amount of divisions. There's 10 divisions overall in this for the first time. Back in the day, the Masters Olympia was just the Open men. They didn't have women. They didn't have fitness, figure, nothing like that. So tomorrow, we're going to see the Open men, of course. They'll do that last. It's going to be fitness, figure, men's physique, bikini, and open bodybuilding. My favorites, I did a whole preview show with Giles Thomas, our MD Power Hour. It's up on this channel. It came out Thursday morning. We went into our picks. I'd be very surprised if it didn't come down to Phil Clahar, Kamal El-Gharni, and Max Charles in no particular order for the top 3. There's plenty of other great guys in there, don't get me wrong. But based on past performance, what I know they look like, I'm familiar with most of these other guys. So if you have to really push me, I'd say Phil Clahar and Kamal are going to fight it out. 2 very different physiques. Phil much taller, much wider. Kamal, obviously shorter and not as wide, but crazy muscle maturity, impeccable presentation and posing with Kamal. Kamal's a veteran, a huge veteran of the game. He's been around for many years. Probably the best amateur competitor that we've ever seen. He won many international competitions for years and years. Did not even seek pro status because he was being paid very well to represent certain countries. His native Libya, I think, was one at one point, but he was also representing, I think it was UAE for a while. One of those Middle Eastern nations had him on their team for years, and he was winning, and they were paying him handsomely, as they should have. So that's, yeah, my prediction for that tomorrow. Let's see. Nigel again, I'm going on faith, and I'm going with Josh. If Josh Lenardowitz looked the way he did a few years ago, I went to his Instagram page, and he hasn't posted a new picture in years, literally years. So I have no idea what he looks like. Josh was really good. I remember seeing him win the Tampa Pro years back. I remember he got, I think, third at the Arnold. He's top 10 the Olympia. Josh was very good. Is he still? I'd like to know. You know, because Hide really shocked me. Hide's updates just a few days ago, I was like, oh no, he looks awful. Condition, everything just looked flat, soft, and he looked completely different today. Whatever he did in the last few days made a major, major difference. I'm going to say that Muhammad El Janzori, Yamagishi is loose skin. That's not fair. Yeah, you could argue that. I think you could have made an argument for either of the second or third place beating him. Mark says, I think the show's win from the back comes to the fact that Lee Haney, Dorian, and Ronnie all had insane backs. That's 22 years in a row. True. Heath had a pretty good back too, but yeah, for sure. Dorian was known for his back. Haney was, and so was obviously Ronnie. Alon Powers, what's up, Alon? What's up, bro? Thanks for covering this. You're appreciated. Alon, I'm amazed at how strong you are still. You're over 40 now, right? Yeah, you've been posting some stuff, doing powerlifting, strongman kind of stuff, outdoors there in New York. God bless you, man. My joints hurt just looking at the stuff you're doing lately. Zuhir says, is Jay still posing tomorrow? I bet he does. I mean, why would he get in phenomenal shape and go all the way to Romania to not? Yeah, we already saw him. What was it with Regan? Who did he pose down with recently? Regan or something? He took off his shirt. He went down to shorts, didn't he? And he posed. He looks really good. So I think we'll see him. Of course, I'm still holding out this ridiculous hope that Jay will jump into the show. But, you know, stranger things have happened. It could happen. He's not on the list or anything, but you never know. How awesome would that be if Jay Cutler jumps into the Masters Olympia? He's got 4 Olympia titles, and he's got nothing to prove, but who knows. Lucas Redkowski, he's not posing, but he already did meet and greet. He'd truly like to talk to them today. Oh, so Lucas, you're over there in Romania. Alon Powers, I'm 48 years young. Yeah, I mean, 48 in this day and age is still young. And, you know, fountain of youth. You eat right, you train hard, doing your cardio. You're staying very well preserved. I'm sure, Alon, if you go to like a class reunion and see most of the people your age, you're like, wow, I'm in awesome shape. I look awesome compared to these people who did not take care of themselves. I mean, that's a relevant conversation. We're talking about the Masters Olympia. Everyone here is over 40. And yeah, I was really impressed with 2 of those guys in the 212 who are 53 years old. I'm 53, at least for another couple of weeks. Also, I was very impressed with Masum Butt. Yeah, he's 53. That's the one. From, where's he from? It says United Kingdom. Is that where he's originally from? I don't know. He was thick, grainy condition. He looked awesome. Let's see. Mark says, crazy to think in 5 years we had 4 Mr. Olympias, yet in 22 years you only had Dorian, Haney, Ryan. It's a different era for sure. Yeah, we don't have dynasties right now at the Olympia level like we did. Like, you know, I don't know if we're ever going to see anyone win 7, 8 Olympias in a row again. I don't think we're ever going to see that again, honestly. Mark says, I thought Hide looked great. Yeah, conditioning. Like I said, I saw Hide a few days ago in his updates, and I was like, oh no, Hide is screwed. He's going to be like second call out. Didn't look like that today. He really, whatever he did, he pulled it together, and he looked much, much better. Kamal was with Qatar, not UAE. Thank you, Mohammed. Yeah, Qatar. And he's very grateful. They paid him very well. They took good care of him, and he represented Qatar for several years. But he's in Florida now, like everyone ends up in Florida. Yeah, I want to give another special props again, the Classic Physique Olympia champion, Alex Cambronero. Alex was the 2020 Arnold Classic Physique champ, and he did very well. He was 6th place at the Olympia in 2019, 4th place. No, I'm sorry, 2020, the year he won the Arnold, he got 4th at the Olympia. He's been 6th at the Classic Physique Olympia twice, and last year he moved down to 9th. But I'm sure he's looking to get back in the top 5 this year. We'll be covering the show in Italy next week. I'll be doing it like this, remotely. Yeah, we'll be covering it. I mean, we need to cover every show. We're getting down to the wire here. There's just a couple more shows to qualify for the Olympia. I think 3 or 4 more. So yeah, we'll be covering them all. How old is Cambronero? He turned 41 in April. Yeah, he does not look old. He's not very old. You have people in their 50s in this show. I bet in some of the divisions, I don't know for sure, I bet there's people over 60 competing this weekend. I bet there is. But yeah, Alex looks great. I've seen him, especially in the lower body, with better conditioning. Upper body looked phenomenal, shredded. I've seen Alex better. It was certainly enough to win today. That look would not do well at the Olympia against Bumstead and company. No. But he's got 10 weeks. It's 10 weeks away. So he's got time to rest for a little bit and then get back on the grind. Marvin Jimerson, Ron, do you think Masters Olympia will be a one and done? Do you believe they'll bring it back to the U.S.? I don't think it'll be one and done. It's in the hands of Jake Wood and Alina Popa and I believe Tim Gardner. Is he involved in the promotion? I'm just saying they got a great team behind it now. When it was held in 2012, this woman, Jarka, I'm sorry, I can't remember her last name. She basically did it all on her own. She was trying to raise the money. You know, it was a tough task. But now you have Jake, who has a great team supporting him and his event productions behind this. The money's there. The support is there, I'm pretty sure. But I do suspect they're going to keep it in Romania. That's where Alina, the co-promoter, that's where she's from. We already have the Olympia, the regular Olympia in the US. So I think they want to keep this in Europe so that they at least have something close to being as prestigious. That's my feeling on it. Mark, are you paid to attend some shows in person like the Olympia? Your insight is, yeah, MD sends me to a lot of shows. It's just becoming less and less financially viable. It doesn't make as much sense for us to be there in person as it did in the past, where because everyone else is just staying home and covering it on their computer. They're gonna rip some footage off the stream and say here are the results. And it's a different, everything's changing and evolving. YouTube, social media, everything changes quickly these days, the way we do these. Muhammad again says Kamal is going to dominate the stage. He's going to beat Phil hands down. You have no idea how Kamal look like now. You've never seen him before. No, I have. I've actually been looking at his updates. He looks phenomenal. I just don't want to count Phil out. You can be a fan of Kamal. I'm a fan of Kamal. Personally, I like him very much as a person as well, not just a bodybuilder. I'm rooting for him, but I'm rooting for Phil too. I know Phil. I've known Phil a few years. He works very hard. He looked great. He just beat Hassan Mustafa a few weeks ago. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting with that little bit of it lasts. Yeah, the prize money. No, I mean, the prize money is not why people do these shows, guys. It's not. But the prize money is pretty damn good for this. The Open tomorrow, first place gets $20,000. I know it's not the Olympia level, but second place is 10, then 5, 3, 2,000. All the other divisions, aside from Open, first place is 10,000. Then it goes 5,000, 3,000, 2,000, 1,000 as you go down the line. Now, what else we got? Mark says, I disagree, Ron. The show had almost no money. That's why Victor Martinez did not do it. Well, 20,000 first place. It's twice as much as any other show. It's not as much as the Arnold Classic. It's not as much as the Olympia, obviously. There's not as much interest in it. I mean, you could tell, if you look at social media today, the Texas Pro last weekend had a lot more buzz, a lot more interest than this show. And that was primarily because it was Andrew Jacked against Hunter Labrada and Carlos Thomas Jr. was making his pro debut. This show, it doesn't get as much interest, so the money's not going to be, it's not going to be as good. It's supply and demand. Classic results out yet. Lang from Lang. So the Classic, I read those earlier. I'll put them on this video. Alex Cambronero, Kelvin Hind, Ross Caesar, Luis Garcia Martinez, Tom Conley was your top 5 there. Lucas says, for many of them, competitors, it's not only about money. Many already established their business, so they're about the title. Yeah, I believe Lucas is right, especially at this level. Most of these guys, well, they're all in their, at least in their 40s and 50s. Most of them have established themselves professionally. They're not looking for a prize, a check that they get at a bodybuilding show to feed their family. They're way beyond that. They've had careers, they've established businesses, they've got all that figured out. They're doing this. I would guess that the vast majority of people competing in this Masters Olympia, they're not in this for the money. They're making money some other way. I mean, we just talked about a 5th place guy in the Classic. He's a multi-millionaire. He's not doing this for the money. He just turned pro a couple of years ago. He does this for the love and the passion, and that's why most of these people do it. Yeah, so anyway, guys, I know there'll be a couple more comments, but I'm going to go off the train legs. Very anxious to get to the gym. I always get psyched up watching these. Don't we all? Don't we all get psyched looking at great physiques? People who are just jacked and shredded. Makes you want to go train. I want to go train. But yeah, I'll put the results of the top 5 in those 2 divisions in the comments section. If you have comments, please leave them in the comment section, guys. I appreciate all your feedback. Lucas, again, kill it, man. Have a solid session. Thank you. Yeah, enjoy the show over there, man. I wish I was there. Never been to Romania. My ancestry, obviously the British, the Harris side's, you know, the UK, what's called the UK now. But the other side of my family is Moldova, Romania, and Western Ukraine. That's where my mother's side of the family all comes from, that part of Eastern Europe. Mark, you can tell Jake Wood loves his sport. Masters had no demand, yet he made the show happen. Yeah, I guarantee you Jake has lost money on some shows, even Olympia. I bet the first couple Olympias he did, he lost money. I'm pretty sure he did. But didn't stop him from putting on an amazing production. He does this for the passion. You know, he had a business that he sold with the producing parts for jets, airplanes. So he came to the sport, sank his money into this that he already made in another industry because he loves this. He loves bodybuilding, fitness. He loves this industry and wants to give back. So that's it, guys. I'll be back tomorrow at same bat time, same bat channel. Giles Tiger Thomas, appreciate he did a little wrap up of the judging earlier that you can catch on this channel on the live. But we'll be back tomorrow and we'll see the Open Masters Mr. Olympia tomorrow. Right around this time, I'll probably do the results because that is happening at 12 noon and 4 p.m. in Romania, which is 7 hours ahead of where I am on the East Coast of the USA. And I don't know where you guys are, but you can do the math. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Join us again tomorrow for our ongoing coverage here at MD of the Masters Olympia. Please turn on your notifications, not only in your YouTube settings, but on your phone so you know when we are going live. And that's it. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have an awesome